Hi everybody, how's it going? Today we're gonna rework some lighter cases that I made like years ago. There's objectively nothing wrong with them. I'm just doing a continuation of a series that I started a few months ago called Fix, Finish, or Fire. Basically, I look at my bench and all of the things that I've started because I'm gonna start a project, okay? I'm not always gonna finish it, and that's the problem. I'm not always going to finish it. I have a pile of unfinished projects sitting on my bench, and the objective is to either fix them, finish them, or put them in the scrap bin and just like be done with it. Say enough is enough and just quit. You know, it's okay to quit every now and then. You don't have to finish everything you start, but it's generally a good idea to finish what you start. How can you really grow if you never actually finish anything? It's freaking butt-ass cold in my studio, hence the hand knit wool balaclava simple hood pattern by Petite Knit if you want to knit one for yourself. I do have a space heater, so when I'm done filming this like talky bit, I'll turn it back on. It's fine. We're going to modify these lighter cases, and I'll show you guys a clip of them. Editing Sabina here. I was going through my archives. Thank God for the iCloud. Am I right? Thank God for the iCloud. Because I found actually all the footage that I created of me making these lighter cases. I've been wanting to make content for a long time, and I've just been sitting on years of content here. So shout out to past Sabina. She's actually kind of great, and she didn't believe that at the time, but now I'm starting to see she was actually so incredible, because I'm looking at footage from March 2022 on my laptop that is currently being exported. So here's actually the process of me making these lighter cases 3 years ago. So just to walk you guys through the process real quick, everything starts off as flat sheets of metal that I stamp all the designs onto, and then they have to be softened through the process called annealing, which is heating it up to a certain temperature and softening all the molecules and, you know, making it like easy to bend. And then I use an empty BIC lighter, because that's what I'm intending for these lighter cases to go around to be the mold basically and form the shape of the lighter case. And then as you can see here, I'm soldering the major seam of the lighter case together. This is just like metal glue. It's like hot metal glue that I melt with a torch into that seam so that it stays connected, hopefully forever, really. It's just like a very permanent way to stick metal together. Then I put some finishing touches on it, add the bottom of the lighter case so the lighter doesn't fall out, and then give it all a good finish with some grinding discs and sanding wheels, tumble it, and then they sit for sale for nearly 3 years before I decide to modify them into something else in this video. The thing is, I've had such a hard time selling these, weirdly enough. I've sold a few, and the people who buy them love them. I've not had any complaints about them. I've not had anyone need it fixed or anything. So like, they're getting the job done. I love all of my lighter cases, and come on, you can do it. Why are you having so much hard time lately? Good. Oh, he did it. He jumped on his own. He jumped on his own. A couple times now he pretends like he can't actually jump. I think he's lost his footing. Yesterday he jumped into my car and he lost his footing and he fell out, and I think he lost his confidence. Because then he didn't quite stick the landing again, and I was like, wait, is something wrong with him? Like, he made it up. He's not feeling sick. He's feeling okay, isn't he? Yes, he is. Okay. Anyway, let's get into the video. Okay, I came up with an idea. Instead of making all of these like super complicated, I'm gonna use some beads that I just recently got. I'm just gonna do like cute keychains. So I'll put a split ring on it, like a cute wire wrapped bead, and maybe a tassel of some kind. I don't know, just like something cute. You could put it on your keys, you could put it in your purse, like whatever you want to do with it. Just like make it like a complete cute finished object for your favorite lighter, you know? And by favorite lighter, I mean exclusively whatever large BIC lighter you have, because that's all that will fit in it. Okay, here's what I did. So I started with this one, and I thought, I'm just going to do like one a day until I have all of these done. Just work on them slowly and give them all their own like very independent razzle dazzle. Excuse me. Okay, I did this one, and then I had the idea that I should do the same thing to all of them and then add like a key ring and a bead and a tassel and just like make it like a cute keychain. That adds to the whole ambiance of the piece, and it's minimal work that I had to do to like transform these into something different and cool. So this is the only one that I did the bar all the way down the solder seam. For these, I just did it halfway. As you can see, I grinded and sanded all of the excess solder off and gave it a once over with a bristle disc. I don't really think they need a long form tumble again. You can kind of see the nicks and pits on the surface. And that is actually from my tumbler. I over tumbled these the first time I made them. And I could grind all that out, but like, it's not that big of a deal. It's a nice texture. So I'm going to add the patina back on. I'm going to just buff the surface and then leave it as just a matte finished copper. Bro, not once have I invited you into this space. So yeah, that's what I did. You can see the lines on my face from my mask because I use a dust mask to prevent myself from breathing in metal, dust, and sand and things I don't need to be breathing. It's time to cook dinner. It's time to cook dinner. Ugh. So I'm done down here for the day. Someone's not super thrilled about that. He says we only just got started. What do you mean you're leaving? Meow. 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 If it came to a meow off, I actually am not confident that I would win. I really am not confident because the boy can scream. The boy's got some lungs on him. As far as the smithing goes for this project, it's pretty light. I just soldered on the loop for the keychain onto each piece and then gave it a little patina. And then I was originally planning on hand buffing off the patina and giving it just a polish with a rough Scotch-Brite pad. But when I was done with that, I remembered how much copper really oxidizes. It interacts with your skin oils and the air, and it's going to do that naturally anyway, but something about this rough, raw state that it's in right after a buff makes it super susceptible. So anytime I touch it and am interacting with it during the rest of this process, it's going to be picking up my skin oils and patinaing over time, and I wanted to mitigate that as much as possible, which you can do by putting it in a tumbler with some cutting media. So originally wasn't going to tumble it, but then I ended up changing my mind, and you'll see all about the tumbling process here in the next clip. I let them ride in the tumbler for like 3 hours, and they look so crispy and good, like glittery beauty. I use this fine grit tumbling media cone. I don't know, you can get it on Rio. Just look up tumbling, like tumbler cutting media, because it will remove a little bit of the surface of the piece. Like, I think that's why the glitter is there. If I'm being honest, the first time I made these pieces, and I think I've mentioned this already, but like when I made these pieces originally, I over tumbled them. So they got quite a bit of texture from that. And then I think when you put them in the tumbler with like other big things, they're all knocking up against each other. So that helps with that glittery effect too. Okay, so this is my son. This is my honey, my son, my boy. He's also a baby. He's also a man, full-grown man, maybe even a little elderly. Sorry, don't tell him. He's like pushing elderly. He's a midlife. He's a man in his midlife, really, starting to get old. Oh, his claws are sharp and they're digging into my neck. Really, first and foremost, he's my friend, my boy Cheese. And he demands cuddles. He demands cuddles every time I come into the studio, because if I don't give him the cuddles, he's gonna cry. He's gonna sit and cry. They're meowing in the background. It's him. It's Cheese. It's a really beautiful day outside. It's 60 degrees and sunny and at the end of February. And he could be outside running around catching critters and just being a little fella out in the wild, but he chooses to be with me because he's my friend and I think he likes me. He really likes my Coke Zero burps. Look at that paw. That is a paw. That's a sweet paw. Oh my God, look at this. Look at that paw. He's happy. He's a happy little clam. We're gonna wire wrap some charms onto our lighter cases today, and I'm gonna take you with me. Yes, we're gonna wire wrap some, and he's gonna bless them. It might be a minute before I get to start, because how can I interrupt this guy? He's having a good time right now. He's so happy. He's like born to be a star, but I think he's also working through some blocks about being seen, because he gets weird on the camera. He's making a really weird face right now. What is that face? This is your supreme leader, by the way. He's drooling. He's so happy he's drooling. I love my friend, even though he's kind of stinky and dirty, and I don't really want to put my face on him. Bye. Say bye. Oh, here they are before the charms and the keychain. And we're going to work on them in numerical order because I don't know. There's really no actual reason other than the vibes. Ugh. So the wire wrapping did end up taking me a few days. To start out, I pulled all of the beads that I was really drawn to and all of the charms that I was really drawn to and anything that I just knew I really wanted to use for this project. And I got started. We started with 222 first. Those are my personal numbers. And so I put all my favorite beads with that one. The banana, some blues and greens. And you'll see, here I am just doing some wire wrapping. I'm using some brass wire that I have on hand. And my years of skills that I've built up to learn how to wire wrap. Honestly, when I started my jewelry career at the age of 15, I was doing this. This is what I was doing. I was taking spools of wire and wrapping anything I could get my hands on. I lived near the James River, so I would go to the James River with my friends and I would find rocks and I would do this. I would like wrap them with wire. Slowly, I moved on to other numbers. I skipped to 8. I guess I lied when I said I did it in order, but I didn't. So we went from 2 to 8 because the vibes, I guess. I'm realizing I'm catching myself in a lie. Should I delete this? No, because I'm not going to be one of those F-ass creators who lies to their audience. I didn't do it in order, okay? And here is my peace offering. Sleepy cheese. If this isn't a good enough peace offering for you, then I guess nothing is good enough because that face is angelic in nature. Anyway, I ended up using some charms that I had made earlier a couple weeks ago that I was originally intending on being stitch markers for like knitting and crocheting, but there was just something about them. Like I don't know. They just weren't meant to be stitch markers for knitting and crocheting. So they did end up being charms that I used on all of these lighter cases. And then here I am a couple days later. Like I said, this took me a couple days to do because I have to tell you guys, doing all this wire wrapping is really hard on my fingers, especially since I don't do this every day. I have not built the calluses up. So here I am wire wrapping all of the other ones and getting them all put together and ready. And here they are as a finished product. I'm just going to show you how it works. You're going to take your BIC lighter and I implore you. You must take the sticker off or it will get stuck in there and it'll be a bad time. But it should just slide in. It'll be a little tight to get it in, but you don't want it to slide out too easily. So you'll like pop it in and then when you need to, you'll take it out and replace it. But for now, here you have this example of a little fire starter case that is like Lisa Frank, but like more acid trip vibes. Personally, this one's my favorite, but I also made it like I'm probably going to keep this one, and I'm so sorry for anyone who resonates with it, but like, I'm sorry. They all have rainbow prisms on them, so that adds to the magic, and they all have their own little unique vibes. Like this one has a little sacred heart on it, and the colors are a little more soft and pastel than the 222, which was a little more like green and vibrant. And I don't know, I just tried to make them all cohesive in a way that made sense. And really, I just followed my intuition when putting everything together. Like I have a bunch of beads and I have a bunch of charms and I put them all together in a way that made sense to me. Each lighter case does have a large split ring attached to a little clasp hook kind of situation. So you could clasp it to like your purse or your backpack or your carabiner loop on your pants. And it's giving me the vibes of like the early 2000s keychains when we were
putting as many keychains as we possibly could on our key rings, and it would be like this mound of keychains that we would pick up from like traveling, or I don't know. I know I did that. My keychain weighed like 10 pounds, it seemed like, but it was so cool, and they were like loud and clunky and fun. So, yeah, that's kind of the vibe I was going for, like Lisa Frank Acid Trip, early 2000s. The 777 one has as above, so below, as within, so without on it. And then I did like a little dice and lucky 4-leaf clover, because 777, I don't know. As you can see, I'm just like thinking about the vibes and the color palette and putting charms together that make sense and are cohesive. Something you can also do is if you end up deciding to purchase one for yourself, you can clip on your own cool little charms and keychains too, and just like keep adding to it. Like I said, like inspired by those early 2000s monster keychains that we had, where you just go on vacation and you clip on the keychain that you just bought at the Niagara Falls, and it's a memento of your trip and of your time there. This one I went a little crazy on, as you can see, that little copper bauble looking thing. That's a lot, but it's kind of fun. And the star spins, so it could be like a little fidget toy if you wanted it to be, or it's just like a cool little thing, kind of Western inspired. I thought that the 888 keychain was the most like Western themed, like the stamping on it, but then it's like whimsy Western. Add a little like alt whimsy, the alternative, as they're saying these days. So there they are. And if it makes you feel any better, they did, in fact, pass the vibe check. Cheese was mesmerized by them. Here you can see he is fully in mesmer by these lighter cases. So, and there you have it. Lighter cases created a long time ago, years ago, finished together now. Thanks for being a part of the process with me. I had a lot of fun. There was a flow state that I accessed when I was doing all of the wire wrapping for these beads and charms that was really fun and really nourishing, especially during this current chapter that I'm in right now. A little bit between things, you know. I no longer fully identify as a jeweler. I'm trying to wear my artist blanket again, and it's been a little clunky, a little clumsy. When people ask me what I do, I genuinely don't know what to tell them, because I do a little bit of everything, and it's not like, you know, it's not like career woman. I'm not a career woman, but I make stuff. I'm an artist, you know. I think that's kind of where I'm at now, is just like, I don't know, I'm in the goop between things. So making these videos and making these projects is a lot of fun and brings a lot of meaning to my life. So thank you for watching. If you'd like to support this channel, you can do so by leaving a comment, liking, subscribing, sharing, all of the things. Leave a butterfly emoji if you made it to the end of this video. I'd love to know the few of you who actually made it to the end. It would make my heart so full and happy. If you would like to support this channel financially, you can do so by accessing the link tree in the description of this video. We'll just take you to all of my offerings, like my website, where I'll have any of the products that I have available, and my social media, and just, you know, things of that nature. As of this video going live, all of these lighter cases will be available on my website, so you can go ahead and you can find that, like I said, in the link tree. It'll be hard to miss. It's funny, like this video ended up being mostly about cheese too, but like as I was editing, he was just so cute and funny. I couldn't cut him out of it. He's just so cute and funny, and viva la cheese, you know? He's still alive, but if he ever perishes one day, which he's not allowed to, I told him he's not allowed to, at least he'll live on in these funny little memories that I'm sharing with you. So once again, thanks for watching. I'm happy that we got to spend the last little bit of time together, and I hope you have a lovely weekend, and that I hope that all of your dreams come true. Until next time, my friends. Bye.